Assistant Principal Tammy Newell here, just going to talk about Motivation School's data analysis and improvement plan. Just to give you a little bit of an overview of what we're going to do, we're going to take a look at our data. We're going to do a little bit of analysis on it. We're going to talk about what we did really well, and we're going to talk about areas that we need improvement. And then we're going to talk about the plan to improve and what measures we're going to do to make sure that we're successful in doing that. So here's the AZ Merit Reading scores for grades 3 through 8, which are the tested grades. And as you can see, if you kind of take a look down here, it starts with the blue area, which is highly proficient, and it works its way, as it works its way up, it actually works its way down the scale of proficiency to the yellow, which is minimally proficient. So I want to take a look at some of our successes, and we did have several. Grades 3, 4, 7, and 8, as you can see, by these rough little circles around here, are proficient and highly proficient, over 50% in all categories. And as equally important is the minimally proficient category is less than 28%. Okay, very good stuff. Taking a look though, we did have some issues that we do want to take a look at in grades 5 and 6. The proficiency rate, highly proficient or proficient, was 29 to 34% for grades 5 and 6. That means also that approximately 40% are minimally proficient. So it is an area of concern that we do want to take a look at. Let's also take a look at our data that was disaggregated, by race. And as you can see, we had wonderful successes. You take a look at the blue bars, they represent 2015 data, and the orange bars represent 2016 data. And you can see that there was marked improvement from 15 to 16 in all demographic categories except white. Very good. So here's our ELL population compared to the general ed. Again, ELLs are in orange, general ed is in blue. And as you can see, we made an improvement from 15 to 16. But we also made improvement in our ELLs from 15 to 16 as well, even though we would definitely like to see that higher. They increased from 4% in 2015 to 12% in 2016, okay? That's 200% increase. Of course, with the numbers that we're looking at, we still want to make improvements with our ELL population. So our students with disabilities as compared to general ed, again, general ed, is on the left side and student with disabilities on the right. Blue represents 2015, orange represents 2016. You can see that our general ed obviously made huge gains, but our students with disability, they stayed stagnant. There was no change between 2015 and 2016. So again, another area of concern. Okay, so we had some great data with the AZ Merit data. It gave us a really good picture of our proficiency rates, and we had some wonderful successes. It shows that we had significant strengths at several grade levels, and it showed strong gains among the races in general, regardless of their demographic category. However, the data is very incomplete for us to have a full picture of what we're doing here. So the comparison data was not there from district to state. We would like to see where we're falling. Are we below? Are we average, or are we above? And that will give us some idea of where we need to work and maybe where we're already successful. I also would like to see standards-based data. Okay, where are our weaknesses, and equally where are our strengths? Okay. Weaknesses obviously are important, so we can pinpoint the exact standard that we need to be addressing. I mean, if we're looking at reading standards, are we talking about children having difficulty in literary text or expository text? And then even drill down even farther, are there specific POs that we need to address? That data would be very helpful in targeting our growth. The other problem is that we are only looking at proficiency rates. We would really also like to see our growth rates. So we'd like some growth data as well. It's a really important. Students don't necessarily have to be proficient to have made successful growth. And that's something we want to take a look at. We want to obviously couple those together, but we're missing that piece of data. I'd like to also take more look at the classroom specific data. Now, I obviously have had opportunity to visit classrooms and see what's going on in our classrooms and wonderful things. But the question is there a consistency between grade level and classroom to classroom? Um, are the teachers using our innovations with fidelity? Are they using the text? Are they finding common assessments? We also want to take a look at benchmark goals. We don't have benchmark goals, and that would be important. Are we meeting the expectation for, say, each quarter? Also, are the pacing guides? What are our pacing guides? Is that happening consistently from classroom to classroom? So the general plan is this: we team, analyze, plan, and monitor. As you can see, teams, we already have some teams in place. We have grade level teams. Um, what I also would like to institute, though, is vertical level teams. Okay, making sure that we're taking care of the gaps that may be happening from grade level to grade level. Being that we have 6 grade levels that are tested in AZ Merit, my proposal is for teams 3, 4, and 5 to be vertically teaming, and grades 6, 7, and 8 to be vertically teaming. Okay. The other thing is I'd like to also have an advisory team, which we don't really have together right now. We'd like to have an administrator, teachers, and parents on the advisory team. Analyze. We want to take a look at the data, and we want to take a look at additional data that we don't have right now, to make sure that we're targeting what we need as far as growth. I also want to take a look at that data to know what the successes are in this school. We have many successes. So what are we doing right, and how can we implement that in other classrooms as well? Okay. We also want to make sure that we're aligned with the standards. Perhaps that is one of our issues as well. Then we're going to plan. So we're going to do a curricular alignment. We're going to target improvements. We're going to make common assessments that we're already starting to work on in our grade level teams. And I want to make sure that we have benchmark goals. It's important that we don't wait a whole year to figure out if we've done it right. If we have benchmark goals each quarter, then we can focus on those benchmark goals, test those benchmark goals, and make sure that we're meeting them. If we aren't, then we can adjust. Okay. And then we want to take a look at our special populations in particular, because there was not growth in that area. The last part is monitor. Okay, so we want to monitor, we want to meet those benchmarks, we want to check our data, and then we want to adjust our plan accordingly. Thank you for your time.